Hello, and welcome to Take Stock Sarasota. I'm Diana Dill, and I will be bringing community leaders together to discuss the very powerful program of Take Stock in Children. My guests today are Lisa Bechtold, the Executive Director of 22 years, and Scott Atkins with Bank of America, who has been a volunteer for Take Stock in Children and serves as the board chair. Lisa, 22 years is a long time to have a career with Take Stock in Children. Could you tell us a little bit about the history?
Absolutely. Before we begin, Diana, we are so thrilled to have you because you were actually my counterpart in Manatee County for so many years. So part of our history involves us, so it's nice to be sitting here with you today as well. So Take Stock in Children. In 1995, there was a lot happening in the world, and it's kind of funny what's happening today in the world as well. And a couple of guidance counselors in Pinellas County wanted to help students graduate from high school. We had an abysmal high school graduation rate at that time. And so they thought they would put together some literacy programs for adults and some mentoring programs for young people in high school. And they started bringing mentors in who started meeting with these students, and these students started graduating from high school. And so then it was like, gosh, now what do we do? You know, we've got them graduated from high school, which is amazing. So at the time, Publix and what was Barnett Bank, which is now Bank of America, came in and said, if you'll get these students to graduate from high school, we will put 2-year college scholarships up for them. We will donate that money for them to go get certified in something technical or go to a community college. That was so successful. Florida Prepaid comes in, says we'll match it with our Stanley Tate Fund. Next thing you know, kids are not only getting 2 years, they're getting 4 years. And here we are 27 years later, students getting mentoring, college success coaching. Our students all have someone who's working with them on grades, attendance, behavior. Of course, that mentor being the most important piece, I believe. And in Sarasota County, we have now 316 students, I believe. When I started, we had 27, and we're in all 67 counties in the state of Florida. So it's awesome.
Making a powerful difference, that's for sure.
It truly is.
That is. And so, Scott, how did you become involved with Take Stock in Children?
Shortly after moving to the area, sometime around 2006, I was introduced to Lisa through a mutual friend of ours, and probably within 6 seconds, I was hearing about Take Stock in Children and the wonderful work that they were doing. And about a year later, I was invited to join the board of Take Stock in 2007 and have been involved ever since.
Wonderful. Well, that's a long time to be involved as a volunteer. And I believe I had heard you say you also mentored for the organization, mentored students?
I have. Our mentors are really the backbone of our organization, in addition to our wonderful staff. And we're a volunteer-led organization from a mentor perspective, but it is one of the most rewarding things I think about the program. And I think all of our board members have mentored a student or multiple students at one point or another.
And Scott also serves on our interview panel. So when the students apply to be part of this program, at first they have to be free reduced lunch. So they have to meet that federal poverty guidelines. They fill out an application. They have the counselors and the teachers do recommendations for these students, principals, community partners. And then once we get those applications in, unfortunately, we have to dwindle them down to how much we have scholarship-wise to give to the students. So we have a panel that actually interviews those students once they make it to that one step before the finish line. And so we have volunteers who come in, and Scott served on that for probably the duration of the time you've been in the program.
I think that's right. Definitely over 10 years.
Boy, that has to be so heart-wrenching to read all those stories about the children and their backgrounds and wanting to be in the program.
It really helps us understand just how remarkable our students are. When you hear their stories and when their families or relatives bring them into the interview room and you get to see these kids, many as young as 6th grade, come in with such maturity and really explain to the committee or the panel exactly what they want to do with their life. And a lot of it is around family. They want to improve not only their life and their opportunity, but the lives of their families as well.
And sometimes 4 generations coming in and saying, please, this is a first generation kid. None of us had this opportunity. Please, give them that opportunity.
Yeah.
Just wanting it so much, knowing that it'll make such a difference for their
Absolutely.
child.
Absolutely. For their whole family.
Absolutely. Life-changing.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yep. for
Oh, that
everybody.
is amazing.
We've had students before who came through, one in particular, Andrea, one of my favorites. She's amazing. She now has a PhD. But Dr. Frost, who is principal of Booker Middle School, started as her mentor. And it actually encouraged her mom to go back and get her degree. So I think at that time, maybe she had a 2-year degree. And she said, if she's going to go on this journey, I need to go back and finish mine. And so it's neat to hear those stories too. Her mom ended up being the teacher of the year as well, a few years after being a teacher over at Booker Middle School. So it's neat how that it's not only the students and the pay it forward, but it also, can affect that family as well.
Absolutely. Well, it does make such a difference. Well, you said the program started, you only had 20-some students, and now you have 300. So you want to help us understand the journey. How do you get from 27 students to over 300?
What I'm good at is surrounding myself with the most amazing people on the entire planet. I truly mean that. Our board members, our mentors, our team, our Take Stock team are just amazing people. And throughout the years, we've had people come and go, but they have served such an amazing role in getting us to that next level. I think where we really, where life changed was in 2007. Our state office had a gentleman who put together something called Turbocharge, which was always an interesting name to throw out, and people would be like, huh? Are we talking about racing? What are we talking about? But it was a match. So we already have that match. When we raise our funds here in Sarasota, Stanley Tate has this bucket of money that then it's, I think Project Stars is what it's called. It matches that. So there's already that really cool, telling a donor you're going to get your money matched. But this gentleman in particular said, we're going to find money to match it before it gets to Florida prepaid. So it became, I think, like a 4-to-1 match.
Absolutely.
And so that's when Scott really got on board. We really had Bank of America back on board with him and the people that were working there, our mentors, our partnerships we have a great partnership with Boys and Girls Club, with the Community Foundation of Sarasota County. Everybody came together for this turbocharge.
It was really, I think, a turning point around that 2007 time period, and how fortunate we were to be presented with that opportunity, not knowing where the country was headed in terms of the financial crisis and the fallout from that. So the timing was remarkable looking in hindsight. And then to Lisa's point, our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club was a natural fit because they already had the structure in place for young students, and really the opportunity was to provide some pathway towards a higher education beyond high school, and to keep those kids, those Boys and Girls Club kids, involved in the Boys and Girls program all the way through high school. And it was tremendously successful.
To have that continuum of education so that they complete a post-secondary education for success.
Well, and they know these, just like our schools, our partners, we're so fortunate to partner with so many organizations. They know these students, and like Boys and Girls Club, they've known them since they were 6 years old. They know the families. And so that, I think, lends so much to recruiting the students and then having them not only vouch for the students, but also a lot of them stepped up to become mentors for those students. So it was just this beautiful partnership. But during that turbocharge time, we raised in 2 months, $560,000.
Oh my goodness.
$560,000.
Unbelievable.
Which then is matched and then matched again, which, as he said, in 2008, little different landscape as far as financially, and we were able to bank scholarships and continue on with that program. But the matching, I think, is what really caught fire, and people really liked that. And we had a donor from Turbocharge who continues to be a donor today, who still matches that here before it's matched at that state level. So, what that, I think, taught us as far as fundraising was finding those extra matching dollars. And now if you look around at the foundations, that's what they're doing. You go
Yes.
find, we're going to give you this if you can find that match. And so I think that kind of set a a cool standard for fundraising here in Sarasota as well.
Well, what a success to find someone locally to be your turbocharge, hopefully forevermore.
Absolutely.
Right? So
Absolutely.
you can serve more children every year.
Absolutely.
There's just so many to serve
Well,
as it is.
and I would add too, the number of students that we were able to serve after that point. So we had front-loaded students in our program, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, which was, by today's standards, were relatively small numbers, as Lisa said, at 27 at one point, and I think we went to 35.
Yeah, 35 was big.
Yeah, 35 was big. And this year we'll have over 100 students graduate from the program. So what we've been able to do off the turbocharge campaign, if you will, has really paid dividends many times over.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Change the whole trajectory of your
did.
program.
It truly did. And as he said, 25 was such a big deal back in the day. 35, oh my gosh, how are we going to do that? After turbocharge, I think we had 67 we brought on one year.
Right.
This last year, we brought on 154 new students in one. I mean, so
One
yeah,
year,
I know.
154 students.
I've said it 1,000 times and it gives me chills still, but that is because of the partnerships that we have in this town. I mean, again, what I do well is surround myself with amazing people. And when you surround yourself, my dad used to always say, find people who are as smart as or smarter than you, and you'll be just fine. And that's exactly the people that I sit around. It's everybody coming together with a mission in mind for the child. Everybody's doing it because they want that student to be successful. And I think if we all have that mission in mind and everybody comes together and we put all of our resources together, it's amazing what we can do. So it's, just such a testament to the team that we have and just that foundation that started and how we've been able to build.
And what a supportive community Sarasota County is.
Absolutely.
Tremendously so.
That is wonderful to hear. It is. Well, a little bit about the Boys and Girls Clubs and the special partnership. So that's also evolved into something more, correct?
It has, yes. So Bill Sadlow, President and CEO, has just been a friend of ours forever. And he's really kind of, I think, was truly born during that turbocharge time. And to have another nonprofit say, hey, we like this because it's going to help our students, that means so much because it's not money going to their program per se, it's going to their students. So to have the mindset that we really want to help these students just made us fall in love even more with them. And, anything they need, we want to do. And so we had a unique opportunity where there was a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Townsend, who came to Boys and Girls Club, wanted to do some scholarships. They'd been doing them up north. And Bill picked up the phone, called us and said, I'd like to partner with Take Stock. So what an honor. And so we now have, gosh, I wish I would have brought numbers, but it started with 2 students. And now, I think we're approaching maybe 50, 60 students, and it's just going to keep happening. So we're also very fortunate we were able to bring Marge Townsend on our board.
Right.
Steve Townsend is on the Boys and Girls Club board. And she's out there recruiting mentors for us as we speak. So what a beautiful partnership that has been. And it is scholarships for students attending the Boys and Girls Club through Take Stock in Children. So it's everything we talked about, everything we built, it really cemented what that relationship is. And so we hope to continue. Maybe more donors will be able to do that as well.
Oh, that's a wonderful partnership because we're all working together, correct, to help all these students throughout the Sarasota County schools. And so if someone already has a relationship with a student, you want to work together to help that student. So we're all in it together. Yes, absolutely. So that is wonderful. Well, a little bit about mentoring. You had mentioned Marge is out there recruiting for us, and so over 100 students. Obviously, mentoring is important, and to recruit mentors.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So mentoring, as I believe, in fact, a parent said it best. This was years ago. They said, the gift of the tuition, which we give to our students, once they get through no drugs, no crime, 2.5 GPA, they must behave themselves in school. And when they graduate from high school, we have at least 2 years of tuition for them to go to college. One of the parents said that the tuition is truly the gift to the family and the mentor is the gift to the student. And we've seen it all. But a lot of times, there's those students and mentors who connect immediately, and it's great. But a lot of times it's a young person who maybe isn't the most trusting or doesn't know who you are, and so it takes a lot to pull out of them. And we do these surveys at the end of the year, asking the students and also the mentors, how do you think it went? And a lot of time our mentors will say, I don't know that I'm making a difference. They don't talk that much, whatever. To the person, we get these surveys back from these students. They showed up when they said they were going to show up. That it's as basic as that. They showed up when they said they were going to show up, which makes me want to cry. But that's how basic this is. A lot of these students are promised so many things that are going to happen in life. And a lot of people don't follow through with those promises. So just that you say you're going to be there on Tuesday at 10 and you show up on Tuesday at 10 means the world to our students. But then, just that a lot of our students too are adults in their family. Whether it's a single parent home, they're living with their grandmother, parents are working multiple jobs, they have to take on that parent role a lot of times and work with the younger, kids, or work, literally go work to bring money back. So to have that mentor come in and just go, how are you? How you doing? How's school? Are you going to the dance? Are you going to the football game? Are you playing in the band? Just let them be a kid for 30 minutes a week. And you don't have to tutor. We have so many people. I don't know math. I tapped out of math in the 4th grade with my kids. So there's no expectation for tutoring. It's really just being their friend. As we mentioned, the college success coach is our hired staff member that will be working with those students. They're the heavy. They're the ones that are, saying, you need to, raise that D to a C, or, you stop being absent from school. The mentor gets to come in and be that friend and just be the person who, no matter what's happening, they pat them on the back.
I agree. I mean, the time is so important, and it really just takes an hour a week, time and listening. And I remember when I first got involved in mentoring a student, after a couple of months, I went to Lisa and I said, I'm not sure I'm getting through. I don't know that I'm really making, what I'm talking about. I don't know that am I really making a difference? Is this making an impact? And she assured me that it does. And so how our mentors kind of go into this and sort of where the students are coming from is just being there for them means so much. And they will open up. But it just takes a little time and a little patience, and as Lisa just said, just showing up. And we do a celebration of hope every spring for our graduating seniors and their families, and we have a chosen graduating senior that will do an address about their experience and time with Take Stock in Children, and most of their address is about their mentor and what their mentor meant to them.
Isn't that wonderful? And I'm sure they don't even know what to expect from the student's perspective, right? Is having a mentor come visit, but it sounds like once you get over that trust factor, right, knowing that they can trust you, will show up every week and stay in their life, then what a powerful difference you can make for those children.
Absolutely.
And so do you have mentors that continue to mentor? I'm sure they're excited at the celebration of hope when their student goes on to college, but what happens after that?
Our hope, so we always ask if they want to re-up, as we say, and most of them do. Most of them do. And the ones who don't right away maybe have had a more challenging dealings, meaning that there's a lot going on with that student. And so they've spent a lot of time, but then they take a year off and they normally come back. So, we've been, I think our retaining the mentor rate is pretty good. And we have so many mentors who will say, oh, you have other students who need a mentor who will take on 2, 3, 4 students,
Oh my
so we
goodness.
are so blessed with great people. And the best part is when they start mentoring, our best recruiting tool is our mentors. They are the ones who then go tell someone, gosh, I met with my student the other day and we had lunch, we did this, whatever. Well, how are you doing that? So once, and thankfully, we just had our first in-person meeting. We haven't had one of those in years because of COVID. And it was so neat to see everybody in the room, They were excited to get together again, and that having that community of mentors getting to talk about what works with you and what works with you, and I'm having trouble really getting them out of their shell. Well, here's what I tried. We did crossword puzzles or whatever. So I think now that we're back in person again, we're going to see a lot more mentors come in.
Wonderful.
But we always need more. That's something we are always looking for, some great mentors.
Sounds great. Well, if we may, Scott, tell us a little bit about Bank of America and the contribution that was just made.
Can I brag? Can I? I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to brag really quick. So, as I said before, Barnett Bank is who originally funded Take Stock. So in 1995, and how neat and how sweet it is that we are in 2022. This was 1995, and in 2022, two big grants that we got last year were from the family of Bank of America. And I'll let you tell what they were, but as I was driving over here today, I was like, how cool. It's so full circle, and how it's all still happening. And it was too significant. We've had multiple over the years, grants from Bank of America, but we'll talk about the one from the computers, and then
Right.
We'll talk about the
Right.
success coaching. Sorry, I needed to brag on them because I think
Yes.
that is such a testament to this program and how they're still here.
So sort of looking back over the last couple of years, COVID really put a spotlight on a lot of challenges, and particularly challenges for high school students and students in general. And one of the things that we quickly learned was that our students, the vast majority of them, did not have the technology available to work from home, or excuse me, to learn from home.
Right.
So one of the grants that B of A gave to Take Stock in Children during this time was a grant that allowed us to provide laptops to each of our students in our program in order to allow them to effectively learn from home.
What
And
a critical
then
resource.
it was amazing, and it really made a difference in their life. And these are their laptops. These will follow them into their college endeavors. So it's something that is truly a gift to them, thanks to the grant from Bank of America. And then most recently, Bank of America locally made a grant donation for our College Success Resource Center. And this is something that we want to provide in all of our schools district-wide. And most recently, we had that presentation at Booker High School in the College Success Resource Room, where we were able to meet a lot of the students in the program, taking advantage of the resource and the knowledge of their teachers. And it was just really a remarkable morning.
And it was a great spot to have that celebration because through a partnership with the Booker Promise Foundation and also the Bransick Foundation, we were able to put a full-time college success coach on campus at Booker High School, the first we've had in Sarasota County.
Impressive.
So when we were able to get the grant from Bank of America, it really kick-started our vision of having a college success coach on a campus full-time at each of the high schools here in Sarasota County.
That is quite a vision.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It really is.
That's exciting. That is. Lisa, I wanted to ask you a little bit as far as the community involvement. Is there something else that our community could do to help?
Yes, there's, mentoring. That's always going to be a big one. Of course, money. We're a nonprofit, so the more money we have, the more scholarships we can give. But becoming a mentor, telling people about our program, learning more about our program, coming to our events. We don't have a ton, but the ones we have, I think, are very impactful. And then if you are part of a high school. And, we're hoping to, with what we've been doing with Booker Promise, is fundraising really for the through the high schools. Maybe if you are an alumni of a high school in Sarasota County and that's something that you want to give towards, that can go towards a student at that high school. But, time, talent, treasure, we'll take anything anybody wants to give.
Absolutely. And Scott, do you have any last comments you'd like to add? I'm
just grateful for the opportunity to be involved with with Take Stock, and our staff is second to none. I just really I'm amazed at the level that the staff stepped up on behalf of our kids during the last challenging 2 years, and how far the organization has come in the 15 years that I have been involved. And I do want to give a special thank you to our mentors. They really are the glue, if you will, that behind the organization, and to the extent that our staff really stepped up in the last couple of years during COVID, our mentors never missed a stride. They embraced technology that many weren't familiar with, and it really and stayed in touch with our students to ensure that they were able to come out on the backside of things and be ready to go back into the classroom in person.
Absolutely. That's exciting. Well, thank you both so much for being here with me today.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for what you're doing to break the cycle of poverty for all these children in Sarasota County. And for our audience, I want to thank you for joining us today as well. Hope that you've been inspired, as have I, every time we talk about the children and Take Stock in Children here. I hope you've been inspired to join us, join the mission of providing scholarships, mentors, and hope for the children of Sarasota County. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.